the last question. Is it true if the buyer said that the purchase agreement is not binding because he doesn't put down any deposit? He used 30% seller financing and 70% from the bank. So there's no binding if he walk out. Is it true?
No. If the parties have signed the contract, there are contingencies built into the contract that the buyer can walk away, but consideration doesn't have to be cash. A consideration is a promise to pay. So, consideration is anything that somebody agrees to do that they are not legally obligated to do or agrees to refrain from doing when they have the legal right to do it. That is all considered consideration. So you have a purchase agreement where a buyer was agreed to pay 30% on a promissory note to a seller and also agreed to get 70% financing from a third-party lender. So the agreement is binding. You have contingencies built in. So if the financing doesn't come through for some reason, then they have an out. If they find something during due diligence that doesn't work for them, or that the business was misrepresented in some way, they have an out during that due diligence period. If there's a lease contingency and the landlord refuses to sign the lease for some reason and refuses to provide a lease to the buyer, then they have an out. So there are multiple ways that a buyer can get out of a contract once they've signed that purchase agreement, but those are all based on the conditions, the contingency periods. And but it has nothing to do with whether or not the buyer has any money out of their own pocket. That's not relevant.
Thank you so much, Tawnya. Thank you.
Sure.